afternoon, everyone. I wanted, before I go into myself, I would like to give you a background. I had a friend in June 20th. He called me that he was having diarrhea. And the wife had gone to work, prepared food, kept for him. But then he went outside to get something. That was the cause of that diarrhea. But then the wife didn't know and they get it being treated at home for 2 days, and eventually he confessed that he went out. He felt like eating beans, and he went outside to get that beans to eat where there was food at home, and that was the cause of the diarrhea. My name is Ongu Africa Ongu. I'm a food scientist with 8 years of experience. So today I'll be talking about street foods in Nigeria. At the end of this discussion, we should be able to determine, are street food a treat or a threat? So the World Health Organization in 1996 defined street foods as those foods that we get from street vendors that are prepared, that we don't need further processing at all. We just need to buy them and eat. And in low and medium income countries like Nigeria, we eat a lot of street foods. They are a source of nutrition and unemployment. If you go to the streets, the street foods are the largest, have the largest numbers of employees in Nigeria. So what are the benefits of street foods? So these are the threats we are looking at. The threat we are looking at is the most accessible. Most of us that work in offices, we survive on street foods. At break time, you see people rushing to that buka, trying to get food. It's the most accessible and very, very inexpensive. Most artisans survive on street foods, and it's a source of nutritional balance because they don't have anywhere else. They rely on street foods. And then it's the largest source of income. A lot of people have been trained from money from street foods. Their mothers have selling the akara on the street. That was where they got the money to pay their school fees. So it's a source of income and unemployment for most women in Nigeria. You see that women dominate this sector. And then the largest distribution channel for supporting farmers in Nigeria. If not for street food, we'll have more post-harvest losses in Nigeria. So let's move further. We talk about the treat, we'll go into safety. So safety of street foods. So RETA in 2022 said handling, hygiene, and then presence of food safety hazard are the major causes of street foods. Those are the challenges with street foods. And then the World Organization, just like my friend, he falls under this category. He said over foodborne disease is responsible for over 600 million illnesses, and over 420 people die globally from these illnesses linked to street foods. And then in Nigeria, unsafe food results in over 173 million cases of diarrhea. Just like my friend, he went to eat something and he had diarrhea. So we have over 173 million cases of this yearly. And then over 33,000 people die. This according to a report by the Consumer Advocacy for Food Safety and Nutrition in Nigeria. And then what are the causes of unsafe street foods? So Mazi et al. In 2023 reported an inadequate infrastructure. And then we have very poor power supply. Then you have foods that need to be kept in the fridge. We don't have power supply. And then those foods get spoiled. And then they don't have any option and sell it to you. And then you go home and then you start feeling you have diarrhea or other illnesses because those food already have spoiled. They have already sold it to you. And then the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, they have very stringent regulations for the informal sector, all the companies, those quick service restaurants. But the informal sector, they are not regulated. So we have this challenge as well. And then lack of proper education and training on food handling and safety. Most of these vendors, they are not trained. They don't understand the basic of food safety. For them, they are going every day to the streets just to sell their food, make money, and feed their families. And then exposure to harmful chemicals. It will be surprising if you go to some of the markets where fruits are being sold, you have a lot of chemicals that are being used. So, impact of unsafe foods, they lead to a lot of dehydration, malnutrition, nutritional deficiency, environmental pollution, and then increased risk to cardiovascular diseases when you eat some of these foods. You have a lot of sugar, salt, and all of that. So, in conclusion, street foods in Nigeria are a delicious treat to marry, but a threat to health, to consumers' health. So, we need to watch what we buy and eat. So, recommendation: consumer awareness needs to be created on dangers of street foods. We need to enhance training and regulation for training and then education of street vendors. We also need to enhance regulation and surveillance. That's in agencies needs to do this, and then government need to provide essential infrastructure to ensure that this food continue to be safe. Thank you all for listening. And I think today, when you go out to eat, you will watch what to buy before you eat. Thank you.